In this video I'm going to show some basics of Lightroom, how the catalogue works, and most importantly importing some photos. What I've done here is I've created a demo catalogue, so I'm going to use that to show the import of some photos, and then I'll open my regular catalogue and we'll maybe do some photo manipulation. What Lightroom does is basically it catalogues. It creates a list of all the photos on your computer, if you want whatever photos you want to import into the catalogue. You know, it also is a very powerful raw editor and printing software. There's other things in there, like the slideshow and web, which I don't use. I'm going to show you the import functions first of all. So this catalogue just has 13 shots in it. This tells me of the catalogue. They're stored in my D drive. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import some new photos in. Details about the photos here. There's a little quick develop module which I'm not going to talk about. Keywording we can deal with. The metadata tells us all about the photos, all the information, and my default metadata gives some information, postcode, website address and such, really just to mark that photo as mine for copyright purposes. Little copyright message down there. So without further ado, I'm going to slot a memory card into the card reader. Now I have mine set not to do anything when I do that. The default, I think, for Lightroom is to immediately open the import dialog, but you can click on it here and open up the import dialog, and the thing that it'll do is it will open the memory card reader by default, but I've also got access to my other drives here. Now I'm going to, all the photos are checked here. If a photo has previously been imported into the catalogue, it'll be greyed out. It'll only come up with new photos, but I'm going to uncheck all of these and I'm going to go right down to the bottom because there's a lot of stuff on that from my recent trip. And I'm going to select these 3 shots that I've just done in my study here. And we're going to import those. Now, I'm going to give them a custom text demo, okay, and I use this custom name and original file number. I keep this file number because I find that useful, and I bring them in. I have my own edited metadata. You can go in and edit that. You can you know, add to your various things that you want to have in your metadata, and you can, you know, put it all in and then select what you want actually included with the files. So I'll just exit out of that again, and we will use that one, and then we're going to put the photos into, they're going to actually go in this case into my C drive. This is my default for Lightroom C drive, my pictures, and then by date, and the date they're going to go in by year, month, day. I find importing them, these are coming off the memory card, they're going to be copied onto my hard drive, and that's where I like to put them. I like them sorted by date because it's very easy for me to find them again. And whenever I export or back up a catalogue, and I'll show how I would do that, then that's the file structure I have. They go into a My Pictures folder by date, month and day, and then I can always find them again. And I'll show a little bit of that. So the import, we're just going to import these 3 images. They are raw files from a Sony camera, but the camera was set in black and white, so the images hold that the camera processing data at this stage, but you'll notice what Lightroom does to them. So I'm going to import those. It's going to go into my hard drive. It doesn't really matter at this stage where I put them. And you can immediately see that this folder now, or this catalogue, contains images that are in 2 distinct places. You can do that. You can have your photos all over the place. But look, immediately we've lost are black and white processing, because Lightroom does an immediate raw processing and uses its defaults to process these images. So they're processed by the default settings. So if we can actually look at that probably better in the develop module. So it's put them on my C drive, and there's the year, month, day, and I've got these three raw files there. Now that's them in my catalogue, and each file has been given a name. The first one there is demo, with the number from the camera, and it's a Sony RAW file. That's the basic import. If I wanted to, I could import images from I can import from another catalogue. That's a very simple thing to do. So for instance, if I go and I show, well, that's a catalogue from the play my son was in, and I can we can open that, and I can bring that in. Now it's asking me what I want to do. Add the new photos without moving, and it's going to bring in 55 photos. Again, I can check, or I can bring them all in, or I can select the ones I want to bring in. So let's bring in just those two. I'm not going to move them, so nothing is happening to those. They're stored in my hard drive in that folder, and I'm just going to bring them in. What am I going to do if existing photos are found? None have been found, so I don't need to do anything. If there were images that were already in the catalogue, then I can get it to bring them in as a virtual copy. We're showing previews there. We don't need necessarily to do that, and we'll import those. Now immediately those two shots have been imported in. We've jumped to the most recent import, and there's all of the photographs in the catalogue. So and they're sorted here by date order. So these are the oldest photos by the date in their EXIF data. Now this is telling me there's a metadata conflict with these, probably because they've been in a different catalogue. So I can click on that to see what it wants to do, and I'm going to let Lightroom overwrite settings for these, but it doesn't really matter. So we'll get rid of that. So that's importing from another catalogue. And when you import from another catalogue, it brings them in with the manipulations you've done. So if I go into the develop module very quickly, I want to labour this, and we bring this shot, there's all the manipulations that were done in the previous catalogue, but they've all been brought across with this file. And that was the original, that was the out of camera image, and that was the ultimate exported file. So that's one of the advantages of bringing something in from a catalogue, if you want to keep your manipulations rather than just importing the raw file directly from a folder, to bring it in from a catalogue, and as you see, you can be selective. I can import, again, bring up the import dialog, and I've got my various drives, and this is the card again showing me these haven't been brought into the catalogue. But if we go down the shots, if I go on all photos, oops, these are greyed out because these are already in. We brought those in earlier. If I go just new photos only, then it won't show me those. But if you want to see all photos on the card, there they are. These ones are all available to be brought in, and these three have already been brought in, so it's not going to do that. But I could go out into other folders. These are different folders that I have, different shots. But each one, you'll see the structure of, there's the pictures for that particular catalogue, sorted by date, month, or year, month, and day. So if I go on that, there's a series of photographs from Chicago. Oh, there's the famous one. Oh, right, let's import him. So I'll uncheck all of those, and I'll bring my friend here in. That's the original raw file. Let's bring in the others, the manipulated ones. So let's import those. What are we going to do? We're going to add them without moving. If I wanted to copy them into a new destination folder, I could do that. I'm copying them from the D drive. And if I put in to move them or to copy, I don't want to move them. If I want to copy them, then they'll go into the C drive by date, into the My Pictures folder. But I don't want to do that. We'll just import them, leave them where they are for this demo. So there we go. There's a few more. And again, that's our latest import. And there's all our photographs, and since they're the oldest ones, there they are there. So that is where's the original? There's the original raw file there. So actually, maybe play with this one later, just to show you what we can do with other software. So that's the import function there. If so, say you want to separate it out. So we want to create keep a group of photos together. We can create a collection, a quick collection. I've already created a quick collection of these, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty that. So I'm going to clear that quick collection. I don't want to save it. I'm going to clear that. I'll go back to all our photos, and I'm going to put these three, make these three a quick collection. I do that, I can do it down here, or I can do it up here. This little circle, if I fill that in, it goes grey, and that's created a quick collection. So I click on that. I'm just showing those photos. So there's a quick collection, and if I wanted to then save that, what I can do is I can save that quick collection, and we'll just call that Bean. And I can either clear it after I create it, or I can leave it. We'll clear it, save that, and we've created a collection down here, Bean, and that's a collection of photos. So I could go back up to this, and I could select all of these shots here. It's a bit slow doing this. I'm sure there's a quicker way to grab a lot of them, but we'll do it this way just for the moment. So there's our shots, and again there's our quick collection. That's them there, and what I'll do is then we can save that quick collection. Again, we'll call that London. Now, that's not making any copies. I'm not backing anything up. All I'm doing is grouping the photos by a common theme. That's not a backup. If I want to back up this catalog, say what I can do is back up the whole catalog. So I can go into my file and go into export as a catalog. So export as a catalog brings me up my directory structure. This is my D drive where this catalog is held. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, right, okay, what do I want? I can just make a selection of photos and export the selection, or I can export all the photos. So this is all the photos. Export the negative files. That means export the raw files that are catalogued here. There's a thing called Smart Previews. I'm not going to go into that. You can include the previews. Lightroom creates a preview. It shows you on the screen the results of your manipulations, but it hasn't done that to the file. It hasn't changed the raw file or even a JPEG. It won't have changed it. It doesn't change it until you export the file as another image file. I will show you that. But at this stage what we're doing is we're making a backup, and we're making a backup of this catalog. So what I do is I give this file name is the catalog name. So we can call that demo2, and we can export the negative files or not. In this case, I'm not going to export the negative files because it takes time. So what's happening here is I'm exporting the catalog. The catalog will look to these original locations. No matter where I put that catalog, it will look to these locations for the images. Okay? So in this circumstance, I'm not copying, I'm not backing up anything other than the catalog, which will make a copy of the manipulations that I have done of the photos so that as long as that catalogue can find the original files where they're supposed to be, it can apply those corrections. If I move the files outside Lightroom, if I decide to go into my Windows Explorer and move stuff about, if I open up a catalogue, it will look for the folders in, or look for the images in the folders where it expects them to be, and if I've moved those folders, copied them onto another drive, it won't be able to find them. It'll tell me I can't find these. We will get a little message to say it can't find them, and you can point it to where they are if you know, and that can be a very complicated business. So what I would advise you to do is, once you've decided on where you want to put your photos, when you import them, if you're going to import them into Lightroom, once you've imported them into Lightroom, don't move them outside Lightroom. Don't go into another program, don't go into Windows Explorer and move them, because Lightroom just won't know where you put them. You want to move them, use Lightroom to move them. This is the best way to do it. So we're going to create a catalog. We could export the negative files, and what it'll do is it'll make copies of the negative files. It doesn't move them. We're making a copy. We're exporting as a catalog, and we're making a copy. That will copy them. We're not going to do that. We're just going to create a copy of the catalog with the 21 photos in it, and we can save that, and we get our little message up here. So what it's doing is just adding it. So there's that catalog made. So if I go into my thing here, and I get into my D drive, what I can see, there should be now somewhere in all of this, where did I put it? There should be a copy of that catalog. Where did we put it? We put it under demo 2. Let's see where it's gone to. Ah. Don't know what I've done with it. Don't know what I've done with it. Let's do that again. Okay, we're going to file, export as a catalog. Oh, I was under architecture, right? Okay, cancel that. Let's find our folder then. We're going to go into the. We're going to go in. I wasn't in that drive at all. I know where I was. Computer. We were on the Seagate, and we were in architecture, and there's demo 2. There we are, and there is our catalog there. But there's no image files with that. No image files with that. So sorry, I thought it was in a different drive. But you can always find it. So that's exporting. If you export with the negatives, you've got a backup of your negatives. If you don't, you've just got a backup of your catalog and your manipulations. So I think I'll end on that, or else this file will get too big to upload. So that's basic import and a bit about catalogs in Lightroom. So I will open another video in a moment with some manipulations, and we'll use that Chicago image.